All right, so we are now live in the Facebook group. So if you're in the Facebook group and you want to join, just go to www.videowithben.com and you can join us live here in Zoom. If you're not, then welcome to Off The Record Airtable Secrets and Lore. This is week 22. We're a group of Airtable users exploring new ways to use Airtable to optimize our businesses and lives. And we're open to hearing from anyone about their experience, good or bad, using Airtable to make a positive impact in the world. We attempt to promote people coming from any level to share their ideas or ask questions. And we also share our experiences, tips, and practices, and offer ways to get involved in the community. We meet every Wednesday from 7 to 7:30 in Clubhouse. So if you want to join that, go to the Facebook group Airtable Community, and I post it every Wednesday. And then from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, we meet here in the Zoom room. So to kick things off, typically we do a recap in here of the news from the On The Record portion, and it's kind of dry this week, to be honest, but there was some exciting stuff with like an Airtable meeting, like a meet and greet kind of thing they had with, I don't know how much of a meet and greet it was, but it was kind of a Q&A session with the community that I understand we might have some visuals from, which is exciting. And then we were just talking about enterprise and the price point on enterprise. If you're considering going to enterprise, stick around and we will talk about that. So to kick things off, I would love to see some of the visuals from the meeting. I don't know if anybody has.
I have them. Before we do that, I wanted to share something. I always forget to tell you, Ben. Every time you read the welcome script, it's a flashback to the, gosh, what decade would that have been? Like the late 90s, early 2000s for me. I don't know if you know what AA is, Alcoholics Anonymous. Have you ever heard of AA? Mm-hmm. So AAs, and this is what I think is funny, is like our intro sounds just like the AA preamble. So the AA preamble is how they start every single AA meeting. And this is it. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other. So we solve their common problems to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for position is the only permission for membership is a desire subtract. There are no fees or dues, blah, blah. But every time you read, I swear to gosh, it maps right on top of this preamble. And I'm thinking, maybe we should be like Airtable Anonymous or something like that. But yeah, I'll bring up all the photos from the meeting. I'll try to put them in some sort of order so they make sense to you. But I thought they were really interesting, to say the least.
And I guess first, what was the meeting for? Like, what was the purpose of the meeting?
Absolutely. So Airtable had a group the other day that was focusing on growth, and growth at Airtable is basically defined getting current customers, and I've actually got a slide on how they define it, but long and the short of it is getting people who are on Airtable currently and not paying to pay, or if you're paying to pay more, and if you're paying more, paying even more, which, good on them. But I thought it'd be really interesting because, the other week we had that situation with the refusal that Devin got when he asked for the plan that's still, as of yesterday, on the site and live for anyone to use. So I went to the show. So I'll share some of these slides with you. So it was kind of nice. Just so you know, Airtable loves some Bruno Mars because they must have played like 10 different songs of his while they're there. Wendy lady here was kind of running the whole show. She leads growth. She's former Pinterest, and the fireside chat was with at the end of the event was actually with a guy from Pinterest. So she formerly worked with him. This person down here was their data scientist. I've got some interesting slides from them. But you can see when they ask, like, where's everybody from? You can see there's somebody from a company called Airtable. Here's someone from actually Airtable, someone from Amazon, LinkedIn, Facebook, Wealthfront, Monday.com. Interesting, Monday.com was there, right? Monday.com is totally trolling the growth meeting at Airtable, but that's cool. Good on them. So the whole idea was user monitor. Go ahead. Question.
Was this geared towards like people at other tech companies, not like users?
So yeah, I don't know if you guys ever have been to Silicon Valley, but it's really an enclave unto itself. So everybody knows everybody, and you could be at rival companies and you're still friends with people. It's not like it is once you leave Silicon Valley where you're like, I'm not a Facebook user, I'm not a Facebook user. Like everybody's everybody, because when you live there, you just go from job to job to job. So it's really weird how everybody just shares information with each other. Why I mentioned that is because this was an Eventbrite, and basically this is how they kind of organize Eventbrite. So this was their whole user journey monetization strategy, which I thought was a great slide. Obviously, like everything else, just comes in traffic from the internet. How do they find people? They went into some really deep dive. I didn't capture any of this on what they do with React versus HTML, and how they can get web searches to find them organically and not paid. Then they went to their whole process of sign up and the different things they do to kind of make sign up easier. Their onboarding and how much their onboarding's been involved in it. I don't know if you guys have created any new bases or workspaces from scratch, but it's really come a long way in the last 3 or 4 years. And then if you're a paid user, how do they get you to buy more seats? Versus paid users who then stop paying, and what they call resurrection, getting you to come back on and pay. And then if you're a paid user with seats and you lose seats, how do they get you to kind of get more seats back? When they talked about this whole approach, no matter where they were in this funnel, because they had a person talk about each part of this. So one person talked about traffic, sign up onboarding, and then user experience. The part obviously I found was really interesting was how they use a lot of A/B testing, and it's very common in Silicon Valley. They're not doing anything interesting here. But some of the things they look for is what country you're from, what type of data do you put in Airtable, will dictate the types of things they turn on and turn off. So if you're someone uploading more photos than text or importing more CSVs, that's a kind of a trigger for them. These were the folks that were there, so you can see right away in the funnel. So we've got sign up, etc. That we're talking about this. Muckins was the most interesting person. He's the one who's dealing with a lot of the enterprise stuff. They said it takes them anywhere from 2 to 3 months to get enough information on a user's experience to know enough what things to turn on to get them to convert. So you have to be on Airtable for anywhere from 2 to 3 months using it before they can figure out what to do. They give a good example of how some of the things they've done. So this was the screen revamp they did to basically change up the call to action. But also they found that with their new screenshot here, they're getting more people to convert and come right in at Pro than they used to. That's a function of size and the call to action button being larger, etc.
And it's
go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's emphasized there, where it's not at all on the left.
Just like literally basic graphic design. Like
What was really funny, they were even talking about one of the things I thought was really interesting. Pinterest went through this thing where they changed pin to save, and they got a lot more users. This chart I saved. It's the smallest improvement we can detect what company is saying is due to the data changes. Okay. Okay. So this was them changing the workspace settings to kind of get you to consider upgrading more. So you can see they've kind of moved these things over faster. I thought that was kind of interesting they were doing that. What was this one? This was really interesting. So they were offering Airtable just to anyone with a student account, and you can see the questions over here on the right-hand side. People were asking. You can see my question down there too. But what I thought was interesting about this was they thought they were going to stop the program because they had a lot of people they thought who might be abusing the program. So former students, graduates who were using EDU addresses get Airtable Pro for free. And they basically did this deep data dive to figure out that it's a negligible cost and it's worth losing if they can keep people on the platform. But I just thought it was funny. They had this, multi-month data science quest to figure out how much money they were losing to EDUs. And the first thing I thought was Howie deciding that the pandemic was over and killing that program. You guys remember it? You guys remember that little rant? So some things they look at. User. No, that was a dumb one.
And they ignored your question about the.
Totally. They answered every single question from everybody, from every speaker, but my question at that one point. And I thought my question's actually worded really good. recently we found the Pro Starter Pack. This really impacted our ability to sell Airtable into our clients. They love the package. Yet it's not really exposed within Airtable to all support reps. Often customers have been turned down when asking about the program. How do you manage growth while setting internal and external expectations?
Fair question.
Not a fair question. So apparently.
Wendy, where's that answer?
She's on Twitter. Just go out and ask her.
You should just make a bot that tweets at them every day, alternates through the different people. Ask the same question.
The growth people are not in charge of like our stuff. I mean, it's weird.
Well, no, okay. So
I almost feel bad for them.
Well, hang on, though. Hang on. Whoa. Because on this specific question, I do believe that Mr. Jackson said that this plan was something from their growth team.
Yes.
And so this growth team is responsible for this. This is on them.
Yeah, but that's like going to a vet convention and saying, "Can you spare or neuter my dog at lunch?"
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly.
With me or with him?
With you, Chris. Sorry. I think I think it is something like that really needs to be addressed. But like, if we're gonna get to the point where we're making bots to bug people at Airtable, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I think we need to pick a hill to die on, and a hill that's much more intrinsic to Airtable itself, not this one mystery plan that we know they're already going to adjust their billing structure anyway. Yeah. Like, we know that's coming. So I say we pick another hill.
Yeah.
How many months ago did they deploy that article? Does anybody know? Like, when was the first time anybody saw it?
Somebody grab the URL and do a Wayback Machine and just do 30-day increments.
I don't remember. I want to say 8 months or so, I'm going to guess.
So they should have data to know if people who sign up for that end up going with like a full pro plan or enterprise.
Yes, it is longer than 3 months, the 2 to 3 month window that Chris had talked about.
Because so they should know if they should kill it or not. Like, if they're having ROI on the program based on like what Chris, you were saying. Like, do those customers turn into enterprise? Probably not.
Yeah. Well, I think what's going to be interesting is I don't think that program's 6 months. I think Camille's right. We need to figure out how long it is. But my big fear, I'll tell you my big fear with that program, now that I'm running it twice, is I get 5 people in different configurations to my workspaces really using it. And a year from now, they want me to pay whatever, $1,200 times 2. That's my fear. You know, and I don't mind paying for Airtable if you use Airtable, but I have too many clients and too many people I've created Airtable solutions for who I foot the bill and they might occasionally log in to see something. And it's just like, you know, I don't know. It's like if your shoes charge you only when you wear them. It's versus charging you every single day. It's like, it feels, I don't know. I don't like it at all.
Slack
I don't mind paying. What does Slack do?
So Slack charges per seat, like in your workspace, but they like it toggles off on billing on if people are actually using Slack. It's like if somebody hasn't logged in to Slack in a while, then they're an inactive user.
Mm-hmm.
So then you don't, like, the workspace administrator doesn't get like billed for them. Whereas in Airtable, whether you're using it or not, you still get billed.
Yeah.
That'd be really interesting.
I mentioned last week the company that I use to track payments for the apps that I produce. It's called Outseta, and they have a way for you to set up internally like usage-based pricing, which is exactly what Ben had talked about. Like, you can, code into your program, if they actually use it, mark it as, some activity number, and then multiply that activity number by however much you're supposed to be charging them. And if their activity number is 0, then you don't charge them at all.
Yeah.
So.
It's probably, I'm not going to segue, but I do want to make sure we get to, I watched an entire Automate All Things with Aaron, and it was the one on Stripe payment links, and it was so good. I'll be honest with you, it's not as far as I thought it would be. I mean, it's still PayPal, just using Stripe, because you can send someone a PayPal link, but I liked it. And I do think there's a there in the future of using Airtable. And Camille just saying that who she used for her payments for her apps kind of reminded me of that. Camille, when you were looking for providers to process your payments, obviously your payment model is being handled through Airtable. Did you consider Stripe?
Yes. My problem was user authentication, where, I want someone to log into the app and say, hey, I have an active account, so therefore let me use all of the features. And so for me, billing people wasn't actually the issue I was trying to solve. It was just who actually has access to the thing in the first place and then validating that. And so there's 1,000 different ways that people do it, often involving using Firebase and setting up a server and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't my forte. So I went with Outseta, which does use Stripe as its payment portal. So it integrates with Stripe.
I'm pretty sure because of Aaron's video, that's how my company is going to change their cash process.
Yeah, he's pretty great. I saw you referenced his
scripting series. My goodness. I went from having zero knowledge of even how to get in to the tables, how to get data out, to being able to do the things that he's doing in his videos.
Yep.
I thought you had like way too many transactions so you can consider billing on your use case, like just for sheer number of records.
What?
We've figured out a sort of roundabout archiving system, but eventually we will go enterprise and it won't be an issue anymore at that point. I'll just have to archive quarterly. Right now we're archiving every 2 months, but essentially if you need to look at data older than 2 months, you're just hitting a button that's taking you to the base that data is in. And so it's not ideal for the type of transactional keeping that we're doing. But I also import everything into one master import space because it all ties back to each other the same way, and then sync it down to the different individual places that it needs to go. So in that case, it's a little bit different. I just archive that master base.
Interesting.
Right.
Chris, what
was my what?
Your favorite part about those Stripe links? Like, is it just the fact that it's on Stripe, or was there like anything better than like PayPal or anything like that?
It's going to be completely personal and not really be tied to anything any of you guys care about. I've used Stripe for my business for 5 years. I feel like a really long time. Stripe historically has not been easy to use. So for the longest time, they didn't have invoicing. Obviously, if you're an independent contractor, invoicing is important. So you have to pay I was using one company for invoicing. There's another company for payment processing. I was using another one for accounting. Now, QuickBooks will sell this all to you in a bundle, right? So you just pay QuickBooks money and they do all of it. The problem with putting all your eggs in the QuickBooks baskets is just that. All your eggs are in the QuickBooks basket. And oftentimes, if QuickBooks won't separate that data out for you, right? And also the experience has to, like 5 years ago, the experience of QuickBooks invoicing and QuickBooks payments was not elegant, right? So like Harvest invoices were gorgeous. Stripe was a gorgeous payment thing. At the end of the day, I buy products based on like the experience that someone else is going to have, not like the benefit to me. Like I spend more money in my life on stuff that I don't have any benefit from, just because I want it to be easy for other people. All that being said, what I liked about it was Stripe has really done their job, right? So they've baked in invoicing a while ago. With payment links, they've really kind of baked in, anyone can pay you for anything now. But again, you're seeing a lot of this now with Cash App. Everybody's got a link for something. Cash me this, cash me that, cash me outside. Sorry, I couldn't put it there. But what we're really seeing here, I think, is just the evolution of a major change in how we buy and sell products and services to each other. This mass exodus of people leaving the workforce right now, the anti-work crowd, the post-work crowd, they're going to need to go someplace. A lot of them are turning to doing their own thing. And I think what we're seeing with Stripe and all these payment systems and Airtable is really a birth of a new economy. I mean, I hate to be hyperbolic about it, but not everybody's going to want to be working for some corporation that shows up every June and says respect gay people, but then does business in countries that kill gay men and women. Tim Cook. So there, how's that? I went from Stripe to killing gay people. Yeah! So
like it almost reminds me of what is it, Wikipedia racing or whatever, where you can try to make as many links from one unrelated thing to the other.
Yeah. I think my mind is my neurodiversity is so rich. I
thought that was just a me thing. I didn't know other people actually did that.
We all do. The only person I know who's halfway coherent when they speak is Camille. I mean, the rest of you, but like specifically Camille. Camille, I don't know if you guys ever noticed, you ask Camille a question, she gives you the answer. Like that's the answer, and then she gives you the rest of it. Whereas I give you the rest of it, and then the answer last, like it's a treat.
Or maybe it's.
Would you look at all this pressure?
So, yeah.
And you just did it again. So I've been chatting with the founder of Fintable after I didn't watch his video with Aaron, but I signed up to Fintable a long time ago when they first launched it, and I'm embarrassed because I thought it was a female. Now, Camille, do you have any experience with the Fintable?
I have not. I did see that they have the app in the App Store now if you go to the marketplace. So it's easier connectivity, I think.
I did too, which I thought was really, and the other thing that was really interesting since Fintable first launched, you no longer have to use their template. So if you're like me and you've got your Airtable and all your transactions and bank accounts already in there, you're good to go. You can do it.
How does this sync to your bank account? Like, how do they get the data from the bank? Like, isn't that like?
Yeah. So the big, with all these kind of financial fintech things, there's only a couple different vendors you can use. I can't remember the one in Canada or the one in the UK. But
did we talk about this sort of like one of the apps was like basically taking your bank credentials and logging in as you or something?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, it's called Plaid. So everybody uses Plaid as their middleman. But what I liked about this is like when I do my banking stuff on my personal Airtable, my Airtable talks to Tiller Money. And then I used to have Zapier watch Tiller Money and then pull transactions into my Airtable. And Zapier would always fail. It made me crazy. But now I use actually Airtable automations just to read straight because Airtable automations can read. I'm going to go ahead and stop this and then make the share in a second in case I jump into a screen that's not. I've done this way too many times where I've shared my entire life. But now Airtable will let me actually grab from a sheet directly. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up now that I've got it shared. So now I can come in here and just have my interactions from Tiller jump right in here, which is nice because, but still occasionally I will get errors, right? So I don't want to go through and reconcile my bank accounts. There's so many of them when you look at all my different transactions, to be able to come back in here and find them all. So for me, having a solution like Fintable would work because it's just going to pull it in. I don't have to worry about if it failed or not. It's doing the checkup. Plus, what I thought was really great is he's got real-time data refreshes. So it's not like once a day like Tiller. Plus, they'll actually support 2 years of transaction history. So if you want to get started and pull in all of your bank and all of your credit card and everything that you spent personally for the last 2 years into an Airtable and start tying it to, like me, assets, right? So I've got a bunch of assets in my Airtable. When I buy things, I'm coming here and look at my assets. So, here's me tying this transaction to these assets, right? Now you can do that because what you were missing before, unless you're not someone like me who doesn't log your assets, you were missing all the transaction detail moving backward. This is so important if you've got an accountant to talk to or something else like that. But because he's looking for like high power users, like pro users, like powerful, he really wants me to jump on his system. He's willing to like waive this kind of 2-year fee to get you on board. And then, you can just, once you get in here, because unless you're making more than $240K a year, $7 a month is not bad for real time, all of your transactions into an Airtable. Like literally skip the coffee you get once a month, do this. Questions? Thoughts?
Sorry,
And Aaron,
did you make the switch?
No. So I want to, but I told the guy, I'll show you the email. My last email was to him, before I do this, I need to talk to you in person because we've been emailing back and forth. And my base is kind of like my daughter. No one touches her without a meeting. You must come inside, take my hand, and tell me where you're taking my daughter.
Did you test it out at all? The free version?
No, I was gonna, but like, I also don't want to get like super excited. And my big fear was, because I already have this happening, you know, in my system already, you know, I thought about just bringing it into, I think the safest way to do it is just bring it into 2 new tables so I can let his system be fresh. Like I'll just add 2 tables to my base and then port all of my data over so it matches. But you guys know what a hassle that is, like copy and paste in all these records. Like, oh, you know, I'd rather like, but there's no way to turn it on and turn it off. Like I'm turn it on, check a couple records and wait. It's like, it's either on or off.
Yeah. And there's no real good way of knowing if it's going to look the same or work the same or adhere to your formatting.
Yeah, I mean, it should be pretty straightforward. Aaron does have a video you can go watch on this on his channel where he shows, you know, they even kind of get into how do I automatically like categorize transactions, which again takes me back to I should be able to jump over or replace a lookup, right? It still makes me crazy because like every time I buy Apple, it isn't hardware, it's sometimes software. And you know, and you've got the automation rules. So even if you did want to use Airtable automations to automatically categorize some things, you run into there. I think it's 25. And Camille or someone could tell me how many automations you're allowed to have at the pro level, but it's not a lot. And then they were like, well, there's a workaround if you do a conditional one where you say do this and this. That's the one good thing about Tiller. Tiller, I can actually use my Airtable categories and have Tiller handle the autofill. So when Tiller pulls it back, it's categorized correctly. Because Tiller will let me add as many columns into their feed as I want. And when Airtable pulls them over, I just tell them where to stick it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can do that work over in Tiller, but not in Airtable. So, kind of a very boring. We've talked about user growth and Fintable tonight.
This may be a dumb question, but what's the difference between, like, what is fintech in relation to Fintable? Is it like the same thing?
Just
theoretically, I guess.
No, all kind of technology related to financials. They call fintech.
Okay, that's what I
think,
but I don't know.
Yeah, I was on a company for the longest time. I think since almost 2010, called Simple Bank. And one of the things I loved Simple, if you ever watched any of my keynotes, is Simple would tell you it would show you where you bought something. So if you physically were someplace,
got a map,
and you could, yeah, on a map. And what was great about that was you could literally create geofences. So what I did in the early 2010s was if I went to the bar and I was there for more than an hour after 9 o'clock and I was spending money, my card would shut me off. If I was at the mall and I was more than 50% over my paycheck for the week, it would shut me off. And I would get a message on my Google Glass saying, stop shopping. By the way, Apple Card does all this now, but you have to have an Apple Card, you know? So again, like everything I talk about, there's a difference between technology empowering you and having like to let some company decide it's a feature and then sell it back to you.
Do you mean like Apple Wallet or like?
No, so Apple's credit card.
Apple has a credit card?
Apple credit card, yeah. It's called Apple Card, I think.
Huh.
I don't know if it's in Canada.
I was saying, must be.
You have an Apple Card, Chris?
Oh my gosh, no! I would be dead. And I was going to get one because I just love the simplicity of it. But the reality is, Apple Card until about 4 months ago, you couldn't export your transactions out of. And to me, it's like I need the data. I'm so tired of these companies. I don't want to sound like one of these people who says it's a privacy thing. It's not a privacy thing for me. It's my data. I didn't just buy the iPad, right? I have the receipt and the insurance. I have all of it. That's mine. Because companies make mistakes all the time and they'll tell you, well, you don't have insurance on that. And I'm the wrong person to ask for documentation. I come with papers.
I want my grocery receipts.
Right.
I want to be able to upload, like, you know, the things I buy and the price per pound and the unit size. Like,
And the closest you'll get to that is the reason I hate Amazon, but the reason I use them so much is Amazon gives you a CSV of all of your purchases. So you can get, all of my Amazon stuff is in there. Any place we're still a few years out from this, but feeds will be the future.
I want to run my own inflation basket of goods.
What I like about grocery store, and every grocery store's got a plan where you put your code in to get the discounts for the week. It's like they use that to send you coupons, but in reality, they could do so much more by making recommendations to families that might have health problems, right? You've been buying a lot of sugary sweets lately, right? And just incentivize healthier things, not sell that data back to, Frito-Lay and Del Monte and say,
come buy some
products,
chips.
Right? It's so toxic.
You like Cadbury, try caramel.
Right? And then they've got a backdoor deal with the dentist down the street, right? It's like
the dentist in the grocery store.
I'm not kidding. Every time my partner and my husband and I, we buy, he loves fruit straws, these and Sour Patch Kids. Every time we buy them in bulk, we get dentist things like within a week. And it's like, oh my gosh, would you stop already?
I think it's just like people are more likely to buy something again, especially if they're like addicted to it, if it's like sugar and if they have a discount. It's just an incentive.
Sugar's in ketchup. Sugar's in everything. We start out of sugar. Hold on.
No sugar and leafy, vertically farmed leafy greens.
V Farm.
I think V Farm is actually a company.
Here's my desk, by the way, if you ever want to see what I look at when I talk to you guys.
That is huge. That is such a massive monitor.
I have more real estate than you.
Here is my anniversary card for my husband. He doesn't know it yet. Hidden over here.
What if he's watching the show?
I was gonna say, when is it?
July 3rd. He doesn't watch the show. He doesn't do any of this.
Better hope this isn't the 1 week he decides to tune in.
It won't be. It won't be.
I'll decline him in the Facebook group. Won't let him in.
I would never know because he's blocked on Facebook. I can't see his Facebook. Yeah, I can't see any of his social media. The first thing we did when we started dating was I blocked him and asked him to block me because I told him I never want to take him for granted. And I can't believe you can love someone you can consume like Netflix.
Interesting take.
Yeah, try it. If you really love your partner, block them on everything. If you really love your mom and dad, block them on everything. Force yourself into real-time, synchronous conversation. If you treat your parents like a real-time feed, they'll never be static data, which grows old and dies without a filter.
Wise words from Grandpa Cyborg.
Grandpa Cyborg speaks again.
Whatever happened to Google Glasses, anyways?
I have them. Should I go pull them out?
But they stopped making those, didn't they?
No, they're still alive. They're called the Enterprise Edition now.
Do you like them, Chris?
I love them. I've been using them for years. Oh. Look at these. Look at these bad boys. It's amazing. I'll turn them on here. You'll see them light up for me. The thing there. It's been so long since I've seen this.
I thought those were cool when they first came out.
The thing I really like about it is if I'm talking to someone and I want to capture the scene, I just do this, like a wink, and it'll just take a picture. Or I can just swipe while I'm talking to someone and take a picture. It's so nice to be able to like capture things in real time. Also, driving.
That'd be really useful. Like you could use it as like a dash cam even.
Yeah, I'll show you the cooler thing when it comes to camera. We're doing Grandpa Cyborg tour.
All the gadgets. Remember those Google barges too? Yeah, there's so many physical things killed by Google.
This is the answer to so many questions. So these are called narrative clips. They're almost a decade old now. What was great about these things, you just put them on your jacket.
Are you telling me that like police departments are saying body cams are like not able to like be, you know, purchased and stuff, and this thing's 10 years old?
This thing is 10 years old and it's $200 and it takes a picture every 3 seconds.
Where does it load to? Do you gotta load it and unload it, or?
Yeah, so it's if it's Bluetooth to your phone, it'll do it, but it used to be real fast. Just use the port here. And then this is a pogo. So this thing is crazy cool. So this just clips to your eyeglass, not the whole thing, the pogo piece. So this camera just clips to your eyeglasses, and when you've got black glasses, you really can't tell. And it'll do video of where you're going.
Can you stream it?
Oh yeah. I've got my first streaming device. You know me, I got it all. You guys remember the Minnow from 2008? This was the
vaguely,
first
yeah, I vaguely remember
streaming camera, and you literally could, it would Bluetooth to your phone and use your phone's connection. You could stream conferences or concerts or anything. This is like so early, but oh my gosh, there's old videos of me all over YouTube from the early or late 2000s, like interviewing people, like, hey, it's Chris Dancy, the world's most connected person, blah 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 blah. I would call it Servisphere TV.
Vaguely.
I was 10. I do not remember.
And then I got this year. Y'all know what this is.
Oh, the new GoPros.
Yeah, the new 9. This thing, the video on this is so amazing.
You ever had a Polaroid Cube?
No, but I just bought one of those little Fujitsu cameras.
Know where mine is.
How much filming do you do outside of, like, at your desk?
A lot.
Chris, how do you feel about consuming pictures versus consuming social media? Is there any?
No, I like pictures more. If you ever visit my house, when you enter it, there's this and this at the front when you enter. And then we have everybody who comes in. Obviously, we have the doorbell photo of them and also the real-time video feeds of them. But we take a static, take a static video of or static photo of them, and then the guest book doesn't have signatures. It's got photos of everyone who's came to visit.
That's awesome.
Gen 1 Polaroid Cube.
Yeah, that thing. I love that thing. Those things are so cool.
The most interesting thing about this, I mean, picture quality was whatever, audio was whatever, and I didn't even end up using it that much because the mount that you could buy, like it was on the clip was on the bottom rather than on the back side, so you couldn't even really like mount it in useful ways. The most interesting thing though is this silver piece on the bottom of this is a magnet, and I've tested this at 120 or 130 kilometers on the highway on the roof of my car.
Yeah,
and it's fun.
It worked. I have to show you guys what I got last weekend. It's not any technology, but it's so cool. Check out this amazing terrarium air plant I got.
Oh, I saw some of those at the greenhouse the other couple weeks ago.
Is that like actually live?
Yeah.
You don't even like really water them, do you? You just like drip some moisture in now and again?
She said, I don't even know how to do that. I don't know. And she swore to me it wouldn't die, so I taped her card on the bottom. So when it does, I can literally blow up her Yelp. Do not tell me something will live when it won't. Oh, and then somebody sent me this last week. I haven't had one of these in forever.
Oh, the 8 balls or whatever.
Yeah, should we ask it an Airtable question?
Will Airtable update its pricing soon?
Well, I need to be able to soon.
I was gonna say that 8 Ball's just gonna tell you unclear or something. we need a hard number, like a month.
Give me a hard number.
By September.
There you go.
This year?
September 2021.
Will Airtable update its pricing by September 2021? Yes, definitely.
Oh, cool. I trust it.
I guess it's set now.
I guess it is.
No going back.
Will there be another Airtable conference this year? Without a doubt. So yeah, that's all I got this week. I don't know. I wish I had more. Do you guys know I actually get my life in a data book every year?
I think you showed us that. Yeah.
Who does it? Like, do you do it or does someone else?
It's this company that collates my data, and it makes it really easy for people to understand.
You spent 5,000 hours on the computer this year.
Right.
Your screen time is up over last year.
Do you guys use screen time? Rebecca, you're on Android or iPhone?
I have it. I don't really
I'm all
use
Apple.
it though.
You're all Apple, so
I have it
I
on my
try not
personal.
to look at it.
Okay, everybody bring up your screen time. I got to figure out what everybody's at.
On the phone or on the computer or on the iPad?
It should sync it. Go ahead, Camille.
I don't have mine right now. It's on my personal laptop, and I'm at work right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think
the numbers aren't good though. The numbers aren't good. I'll just throw that out.
I've only had this computer for a few days.
I don't use iCloud, so mine's not synced. I have iCloud, but it's not like there's no storage or anything. I don't.
What's my most used application?
Are we still broadcasting?
Airtable. I think I can actually sync, so I can bring up my phone.
Does anybody track their time in like Toggl or any time tracking tool?
Well, Chris was talking about rescue time.
I use rescue time. Airtable number 1. Reddit number 2. It's interesting to put Airtable in here twice. I guess maybe one is on one device, one is on the other. I have no idea.
It's probably a form.
How many hours a day on your? Oh, this is all devices.
Yeah, this should be all devices. I don't know if I can look at just a specific device. Does anyone know if I can?
You could on that last screen in the top right.
So go here.
Oh, see, I have everything open all the time. Interesting. So it doesn't actually track what I'm using. It just tracks what's open.
Yeah, so just my phone is 2 hours and 33 minutes a day on average.
On Airtable?
No, total. Just using
wow.
it. Most of it's messages.
Yeah, my Mac one says this week is 36 hours of Airtable, but that's literally just when the screen is on and Airtable's open, I think. And not minimized. Because, I mean, everything else above it is 42 hours and 25 minutes, which is everything else that I keep open.
I just turned screen time on so I can give feedback later.
How do you look at the app size on mobile? How did you get to that app usage?
Ben told, I should say Benjamin. Ben told me you go to
CL
all
activity.
Devices. If you go to all devices, then you can switch on the upper right corner to just
CL activity. Oh, I see. Oh, Clubhouse, 2 hours, 5 minutes.
I'll have to show up for mine. Oh, nice. What is that? 0 minutes? What?
You muted.
Oh, I was muted. I said I'll report back with Ben. I just turned it on.
I just realized we had messages. Do you want to talk about Topia before we wrap up?
Yes.
What is Topia?
Let's talk about it.
The landscape
Topia
is, let me get in here. Hold on.
Show us your Topia. I built one for us.
This is the thing where you run around and you can add in backgrounds and stuff, right? And like there's proximity voice chat or whatever.
Like Zoom, but you just build your own little world.
See, I wanted this. Did we ever figure out if you could entirely replace the background?
Yes.
Like was from scratch to a white box, like.
Oh, and of course no.
Because I'd be curious if you could draw your own, like, illustrate your own world. Because you could use this for D&D, I'm sure.
Right.
You could like make a D&D world. I mean, I don't really play, but I just presume you could make a D&D map with this thing.
You guys, I am not having a great time with my Mac.
What are you trying to do?
I keep losing my toolbar on the bottom of Zoom.
Hover underneath because you full screened it.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't matter what size my screen is.
Oh, is it set to fall down?
Probably, but I don't know how to get it back.
Position.
I don't have any options.
Yeah, settings, dock, and then you probably have automatically hide and show the dock on or something.
I don't have settings. I can't see the chat. I can't see anything. I guess.
Does it say you're sharing your screen right now? Or
are you in full screen on Zoom? Are you in full screen on Zoom? You have 2 monitors?
Yeah.
Is the dock on the other monitor?
No, I don't need the dock. I need where it says like mute. Video.
Oh, is your Zoom window like below the level of the dock?
Nope.
Your window?
Trust me, I've been fighting with this for 30 minutes. I can get it back for a second, but.
The one thing I know is Rebecca is usually pretty technical. She's like, you got this control.
Well, and like if anybody's willing to offer IT support, I'm having this problem across other places too. I'll be right back.
I just got this delivered. This is my last kind of show off piece for the day. Does anyone want to take a guess what it is?
I've seen this before. Is that a doorbell? No.
I want to say it's like a clock kind of a thing.
Nope. I'll give you a clue.
It's a patio table. It folds up together and turns into 2 seats and a table.
Nope. I'll give you a clue. It hangs.
Calendar? Calendar holder for an old paper calendar?
This is a bat house.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you see a bat house. Yeah, see those grooves go all the way up on all the sides, on both sides. So bats go and live inside it and hang upside down during the day and then come out, fly out at night.
Are you a bat fan?
Oh my God, am I a bat fan? Of course, I'm a witch. So, and look who makes it. Bat B&B.
Oh my God.
That's genius.
Bordering on copyright infringement.
I love my Bat B&B. You guys do not know how badly I've been wanting to get a bat house, but they're expensive. But yeah, we've been working on getting our bat game strong before the fall. We want lots of bats for Halloween. I think I'm the only bat person here. Camille, are you a bat person?
I'm not a bat person. I would say I'm neutral to bats in general.
I think bats are pretty important for the ecosystem.
Right?
They're just, don't get too involved and, eat them raw or anything.
It keeps them warm during the day. They grip. They come out at night. Look at this, a bat diagram.
No, that guy loves bats.
Right. This is like seriously. Merlin Tuttle has approved. This is a Merlin Tuttle bat approved house.
Who's Merlin Tuttle?
I have no idea, but if he's
it's that guy right there.
If he's approving bat houses, I'm down.
I presume it's that guy with the bat in his hand.
It said he's a conservationist. There you go.
Oh.
I think this just shows how little of news there is in Airtable world this week. We're talking about bats.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. You're fine. Still no luck? Oh, you got it.
Are we here? Okay.
Yes.
Do I have audio?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay. So this is Topia.
Now you're frozen on mine.
Yeah, hold on.
So Chris, what is the purpose of Topia?
It's a community-based tool. What I really liked about it was I just thought I would love for our Facebook group to have like a presence in Topia. So if someone has Airtable questions, they can come in here and find someone. And we can have up little bases depending on what type of Airtable questions you have. So you'd have to travel to them. So maybe you go to the land of automation, or you go to the land of views. You know what I'm saying? To me, I don't know. I want to find a reason to use Topia. Plus, I know one of the founders.
Oh, what is going on here? Okay, this is Topia. We're not going to hit any extra buttons or anything.
You sound like Margot from The Magicians.
So in Topia, I used a lot of their assets, but you can also upload your own assets. Basically, you can see this kind of Zoom style screen here. You have the same mute and video off functionality, but you can build.
I can come to your Topia if you want.
Yeah.
Send me the link and I'll come meet you. Copy and put that in the chat.
Yeah, okay. I don't think Zoom's going to let me do that right now, but
okay.
I can do this. Okay, I sent it in Messenger.
Thank you. I'll have to go check.
So you can embed things like video and other like audio links and all kinds of stuff in here. So like when you walk near this little fire, you get a nice little fireside guided meditation. And so you guys can sit there and chat. But what's really cool is I've been working a lot with Pori, and you can actually embed your Pori sites in here, or any site.
That's nice.
So I have all kinds of little areas in here, but my favorite is this little marketplace back here. And so on these, here I have a nice greenhouse with all my plants. And a little garden over here. And here you can look at my crystals and all the things.
Nice.
And I'm adding support for just informational things like getting info on the chakras. And you can actually interact with all of this stuff in here. And for all these little icons, I just went to like flat icon. And you can even, like, not saying to do this, but you can get quite a bit of them for free. This is a 34-inch monitor.
I like to actually have all the Poris embedded so that people can see your products on different websites.
Yeah, and so the other really cool thing is you can have portals. So you can build multiple Topia worlds.
Chris, you could use this as an onboarding tool.
That's what when we were having one of our meetings, our other meetings, I thought about onboarding people and training them in Topia Airtable.
But yeah, as we get close to each other, oops, you can see.
I like that the fire plays a video automatically.
Now I can see Ben, and Ben can hear me.
Yeah, that's the other thing I love about Topia is the proximity to it. I wish we could stream from Topia instead of Zoom. I guess we could share the screen, but I don't know if you get all the voices and stuff.
You get whoever was close. Like you could stream one person's audio.
DC.
But yeah.
Well,
I don't think I actually set up the portal but these campers will each go to different little worlds, but there's nothing in them right now.
Question: how do you leave?
There is no
I
escape.
just quit.
An interesting tool.
Yeah.
There's no leave though, which is interesting.
This is how I leave.
Oh, I know. I just. Do you think there's something that uses a camera and a microphone? You'd want like a disengage button.
It's so super new. You can turn your camera and microphone off, but I'm a weirdo and I unplug my camera whenever I'm not using it. So
Probably safe. All right, gentlemen, ladies, and others. It is getting a little bit late for Grandpa Cyborg at 7:30 here in the Central Time.
Yeah, thank you all for coming to this week of Off the Rails.
Yeah.
Off the Rails quite early today. So thank you all. Hopefully next week we'll have some more news. Next week I'll be moving to Dallas as well. We'll have a new setup again.
There'll be 3 people in Texas.
Yeah, we'll have a monopoly.
You guys can eventually have a physical meetup.
Yeah, we can. Awesome. So thank you all for coming. Were you gonna say something, Rebecca?
Oh, I was just gonna say it'll be funny because Ben will be 4 hours from me, and then Chris is on the other 4 hours on the side of that.
But we'll just all race to the middle of that triangle.
Yeah.
You've got you over here, Ben up here, and me down here. So let's go to the middle. I think it's like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Like a zit on Texas. Which is
All right, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming.
I hear Ben.